There are many battles that we all face in life. Certain circumstances will come into your life.
Relaxing, awesome. Reading a book, awesome. But life in total, not awesome. And how is that possible?
Somebody told you to just graduate high school, graduate college, get a job, work that job the rest of your life.
There's no better pathway to self-realization and the ennoblement of being than to posit the highest good that you can conceive of and commit yourself to it. And then you might also ask yourself, and this is definitely worth asking, is do you really have anything better to do? And if you don't, well, why would you do anything else? I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself if today were the last day of my life when I want to do what I am about to do today. And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something, because almost everything, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important.
And these battles that we must face has different stories connected to it. These battles that we face each and every day of our lives has many things and many circumstances that sometimes we just don't feel that we're prepared for. But we must find a way. We must find a way and an understanding that this thing that we are dealing with right now in our lives.
Because nature has implanted directives in your brain to ensure that you work hard, because you grew up on the plains of the savannah, and life was hard and life was scary. And if you weren't a part of the group, you were going to get eaten by something, you were going to die of exposure, you weren't going to make it. And so nature, by way of natural selection, has made it extremely pleasurable to work really hard to gain a set of skills that are unique and exciting to you, that allow you to serve not only yourself, but the group. Makes that really feel good, even though it's hard, even though each step of that way is difficult. And yet it adds up to something extraordinary. Okay? It is the most counterintuitive, weird thing in the world, that if you do all of the individual things that are fun, it ends up where you feel like crap. And if you do individually all of the things that are hard and a struggle and are difficult, you end up feeling awesome.
It's temporary and it will not last forever. You must realize that you must grow enough tenacity within yourself to press on. We are all going to face many battles in our lives. And some of these battles we will not always win. But we must have the winning attitude. Regardless if we fall down. Regardless if the struggle is so hard, regardless if we get pushed back a few steps, we must continue to press on. We must disconnect ourselves and stop being prisoners to the sadness, to the weakness, to the fear, to the doubt.
It's a reality of life. So I knew that. So even as I became successful, I never thought, hey, why don't we just retire? It won't work. It won't work. Meaning work, because I won't be able to feel the way that I want to feel. I want to feel good about myself. I want to make progress in my life. I want to feel like I'm contributing. I know all of that because I understand how the brain works. I understand how nature embeds these directives in your brain, and it isn't enough to not do something bad. You have to be pursuing something that matters. Meaning, purpose. That's it. That's the game. It isn't success. It isn't wealth. It isn't adoration. It's not trophies. It's not goals. It's nothing other than fulfillment. And fulfillment is work really hard.
Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it. Get off. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them. You've never done something before. You expect yourself to be awesome at it. You haven't done the work. You haven't Put in the time you haven't put in the study hours you haven't had the experience, but you expect to be good, and because you expect to be good, but you know you're not going to be good, you don't do anything you want to be.
Have kids, get married, and die. Somebody told you that. What do you believe you were destined to do? And then you got to spend every single solitary day for the rest of your life going after that dream. What do you have to have? What is your dream? And when you think there's nothing left in the tank, look yourself in the eyes and say, I can, I will, I must. The nightmare is to reach our 60s, our 70s, our 80s, or even our deathbed, and to talk about everything we should have done.
The solving of problems. And everybody's got a list of problems. Everybody. The rich merely ask for a longer list. But solving problems is a real challenge, and there's all kinds of problems. Business problems, family problems, personal problems, financial problems, mental problems, emotional problems. We've all got these challenges. But that's the game of life, how to take it like it is and make it like you want it. How to turn resources into productivity. Human resources, physical resources, solving problems. That's the challenge of life and lifestyle. See, the challenge is how to be happy with what you got. You got something. The next key is how can you be happy with it? It's a challenge. It's a problem. It needs to be solved.
I should have done that. I should have invested in this. I should have made the relationship work. I shouldn't have got a divorce. We sit around and talk about all of our shoulds. We talk about all the things we wanted to do, but never got it done. That's the nightmare. That's the nightmare that we all must avoid. This is the time to establish your dream. All of the pain, all of the trauma, everything you have experienced, the turbulence, you have to garner up all of that hunger. I'm talking about you got to think of everything you've ever wanted in your life, and you got to put it toward that goal. And there are things that you have been called to do that no one on earth has ever done.
This is important. Seasons are always temporary. Everything has a season.
Somebody who succeeds, you want to be somebody who builds something, you want to be somebody who people write books about. One day you're going to have to be okay with being baddish for a long time. Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Everybody's got to find their own path.
I met Neil Armstrong one time, first man to step his foot on the moon. Neat guy. Met him in Chicago. Neil Armstrong said, going to the moon was simply a matter of solving problems. That's the way he described it. The trip to the moon was just solving problems. So no telling where you can go if you solve the problems. No telling what kind of a journey you can take. Just solve the problem. Now, let me give you some keys on problem solving that really helped to alter my life. Problem solving. First, work out your problems on paper, not just conversation and thinking. Put the problem on paper. You'll find if you're around us quite a bit, the evening seminar, these 2 days, any other context you might have with us, we're always talking about paper, journals, projects, books, learning to think on paper.
You have to realize that when you get on that path, you're going to up. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to have bad jobs, like really bad. But as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to take those as lessons about, and you're smart enough to not make those same mistakes over and over and over again, there's really nothing that you can't do. What are you giving? Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here, and in fact, under their name, we could put under their not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different?